They'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at
You are a different cat. You're a different cat of fish.
Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. If you're new and give it a like, a comment, give it a share. Give it a bloody good to subscribe. Sorry, I had to run to the postman. Anyway, hope you're safe and well. Usually I do these things outside the ground. Work is mental at the moment, so I've got to do some work. And can't book any time off work. So I'm going to be heading to the ground afterwards in the afternoon. Hope you're all safe and well. I said, trying to catch my breath. Mental. Anyway, we got Bournemouth this weekend. It's this evening. 8 o'clock kickoff. Sky Sports. Check out Matt's Stat Attack, which will be out this afternoon. Very interesting. Team news. We don't really know, to be honest. Let's be honest. We know Aged won't be in the squad, but he's pretty much very close to being in the squad. We know that Paqueta may or may not be in the squad. We know that Dawson may or may not be in the squad. We know that Cornet may or may not be in the squad based on David Moyes' press conference. So we're none the wiser. None the wiser at all. Anyway, let's see who we've got in the chat. Toby's naturally in the chat. Half an hour before everyone else. Hope you're safe and well. If we don't win, would you say sack? Because I would. We're not winning games that we would otherwise win last couple of years, and his tactics are still depressing. He thinks leaving it to the last minute's fine. Well, I've been listening to a lot of stuff over the weekend, particularly when you look at how the results haven't gone for us well this weekend. Let's be honest. We started off the weekend at 13th. I think we're 17th now. People go, "Oh, we're 2 points off the bottom." But we win, we go 10th. And does it also, and then you're on the first page of the BBC's, league table. Does it make things look a lot rosier? I think it does. We've got Thursday as well, where Thursday we've got a huge game because any type of result basically guarantees us the group winners in the conference, which means we don't have to really think about Europe at all until March, which is fantastic. So we've got almost like 4 months off thinking about. I know we've got Bucharest, but that's almost like a dead rubber game for us, which is great, which maybe can give the likes of Connor Coventry, can give the likes of maybe Aged, maybe Randolph, give them some game time, or Heggie, It could really open up the possibilities to give some of the youngers and some of the guys who haven't had any game time some game time, or maybe try some new stuff out in a professional outset rather than necessarily behind closed doors fixtures. So I think it's crucial. It's a crucial game tonight. I really do, because then you look at it. We've got Thursday, then we've got Man United. We've got, including today, 4 games left in the Premier League before the World Cup finishes tonight, and then we've got Man United, then we got Palace Leicester, or Leicester Palace, something like that. So yeah. And good afternoon to you. It's Monday, which means the Super Chef has a day off. Perfectly timed. What a perfect day. What a perfect day to time a day off. Hello, Super Chef. Hope you're well. F. Todd, come on your wine. Simple. It's not just a football, it's West Ham Day, says Anton. He certainly does. No, it's not the time to sack Moyes yet, but we need to get a few wins in the bag in the Premier League soon. Well, we need a few wins in the Premier League by the end of November, or by mid-November, haven't we? It's imperative, because no one knows what Boxing Day onwards is going to look like, because you've got the World Cup, you've got players coming back, you've got players not going to the World Cup. You're going to have a real weird, those first few weeks, maybe until sort of early January. We've got 3 or 4 games very, very quickly, haven't we? You've got Boxing Day 28th, and then the January game. There's going to be some very strange scores, some very strange fixtures, because people are coming back from fitness. People might have got injured during the World Cup. People might not play during the World Cup. Some people had the whole time off. They might have had pre-seasons. There'll be some people buzzing to come back. There'll be some people, so it'll be the overhang of Christmas. coming into January as well, January transfer window. There might be a couple of managers changes as well. So all we know is what we can do up until the end of November, until mid-November, and then wait and see what happens in January. Most people was nothing, mate. Honestly, I've got I've got so much work. It's ridiculous at the moment. We've not had a settled back four since Ogbonna got injured. I made pass judgment on Moyes when we have a fully foot for 6 games. I totally agree, Phil. You're totally right. Similarly, someone like Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson's had the best part of, one game he had 3 centre-back partnerships he was contending, so there we go. Pete, hope you're well. Good afternoon to you. Darren, good evening to you, my friend. May or may not FC indeed. Hi, Ludders. Will be confident for win if Les plays. I mean, the reports are suggesting that Dorse is the most likely of those 3 to be playing, I'll be honest. Me and Anton put in... I think we put Paqueta in. I think you're more likely to see Paqueta in terms of the Man United game than necessarily the game tonight. And if that happens, it'll be interesting to see what happens, whether he plays Downs in that sort of third midfielder role, or whether he brings in a number 10, whether he brings in a Ben Rama at 10. Wouldn't mind seeing that. It's imperative we don't lose tonight. We have to get something. We have to win. I mean, we have to win, to be honest. I think that would... it would not just... I know it goes 11 points to 14 points, but it's the sort of the psychological boost, because then you're in the top 10 then, and it makes a big difference from being 17th. It's a huge upturn in perception of people, and people do. People look at the situation, look at the table, and go, "Oh my God, look, 17th!" But actually, they don't look at the top bit, and so they always look down because we're West Ham fans. But actually, we look up a little bit, 10th, and win, and we're 10th. Any score, because we're in the same goal difference with whoever we play, whoever's 10th, I think. 1-0 do mean to, again, it's one of those ones similar to that Anderlecht game, the away. Me and Anton both said it. I'll take a 1-0. I'll take a scrappy 1-0. I'm not bothered really about how we play, or because we are still in this, we're not. I think you can only, and I think who said it up and above? Phil said it. Until you've got your fully foot squad set up, you're always going to be, he's injured. So we are going through this transition, and it's taking a time. And I've said it before. It's almost like we've been doing a pre-season in the season because of whether it is a reluctance of Moyes to buy the players, whether it was a reluctance of the selling team to sell the players, whether it's a combination of the both, whether it's parts needed to be moved and moved around in order to get players in. We bought 170, 180 million pounds worth of players, but we haven't had a chance to put them all on the pitch at the same time. People get injured and and that type of thing. I know everyone else gets injured, but it does seem more often than not, Agard gets out. But then again, look at Aston Villa. Aston Villa, they spent all that money on Diego Carlos. He gets injured, and Steven Gerrard gets sacked. So we're all in the same boat. But I think once we get that, then we can properly have a look at that. Can't go into the World Cup on 13, 14, but hopefully we won't. Hopefully we won't. Horrible results for us yesterday. Other teams getting wins. Really confident tonight as Mike Dean is on the VAR. Lose, we sit in the relegation space. Win, we go 10th. We certainly do. I don't care what anyone says. Ben Rama has to start this evening. Yeah, fair enough. Even Anton agrees that. There we go. What's the weather prediction for tonight? I haven't done the weather. I'm so busy at the moment. See, I can't remember. This cough's still lingering, isn't it? Ludden said to me it's still lingering. Certainly is. Right, weather report for tonight. For those of you going who are lucky enough to go to Stratford, get there early as well. It should be fun. So we're looking at highs of 6 from about 5 o'clock onwards. So 16, 12%. 12% chance of rain. Then it goes to quite a clear evening, so it's going to be it's going to drop. The temperature will drop quite a little bit, not massively, only to massively about 12 degrees. But I would take a jacket. I would take a jacket, particularly if you are feeling a bit, Some people don't feel the cold. I don't feel the cold. Who's the 20% that aren't buzzing? I don't know. We need to look at ourselves. Can't keep relying on others. You're totally right. Get it done. Exactly, get it done. We need the win and a good performance so we can get into the Man U game with confidence. I'm not even bothered about the. I'll be honest at the moment. For me, it's about the points. It really is about the points at the moment. We haven't played well since last November, so I'm not going to see a massive upturn in performance. I think we'll see some good football because I think we would do because I think Bournemouth play quite open as well. So I think both of us together it'll work quite well. But for me, I think it's just about getting the result. Boxing Day will look like the day after Christmas. It won't. It certainly would. And I'll be what's name? I'll be in Florida. Afternoon, Jakey boy. Nice to see you, son. Although he has been imposed. I don't know if you've noticed, he's been imposting as me recently. Doing sort of. That's my shop, anyway. Hashtag. I'm hearing people want to call you today, Russ. I'm hearing people want to call. Okay, sorry, I haven't even sorted that out. Yeah. So basically, probably Anton wants to chat, so that's why. Okay, we'll get the lines open. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, dear, it's mental at the moment. Absolutely radio rental at the moment. Right, the lines are open. Right, let me just get everything sorted, and then you can feel free to dial on. Let me put the number up for people. There's the number. If you want to chat, feel free to chat. There we go. Feel free to chat. And we can talk about the game if you want. We're not going to be on for massively because I am so busy it's ridiculous. Fish and chips and massive peas. Nice. This time last year on 23 points after 12 games since December, we were averaging 1 point per game. Tell me we should be worried, guys. We're still very much a work in process. We have significant... Yeah, but comes a point, Matt, didn't it? So, we've got a caller coming in. Wait a tick. Ah! Oh, hang on, caller. Hang on, caller. Who's on the line? Who do we have on the line?
It's DJ Rusty B.
You're so fucking sad. You're so sad. How are you?
You right?
I'm all right. You all right?
Yeah, not bad. Hopefully you
boy.
can get over your cough. It sounds
I know, it's awful. It's awful. I do apologise. It's but I'm unlike some of the players, I'm here. You know what I mean? I'm here.
You're here through thick and thin, Russ.
You better believe it. So, are you still in? You still down south?
Yeah.
Nice. What do you think about the game today, mate?
It's a must-win game, isn't it? It's difficult saying that this early on in the season, but I don't like to pay attention to the league table too early on, and I think today's a perfect example of it. If we lose, we're 18th, and if we win, we're 10th. So that just shows the craziness of it all at the moment. But we're at home to Bournemouth, a side that have been playing well. They were unbeaten under Gary O'Neill, I think, until Southampton beat them midweek. So they are a good side, but it's just a must-win game today, isn't it? Really.
It certainly is. I'm always cautiously optimistic because I am, but I think today is a day that Scarmacher gets a hatful. I reckon today.
I hope so. Yeah. I think hopefully he can get some service tonight because down at Southampton against Liverpool as well. I thought he's just not getting the service. He looked a little bit frustrated, and hopefully if we could we've seen Cornet's back on the grass, so maybe he's in with a shout, or maybe a Ben Rama out on the left and then Bone on the right, just to get him a bit more service, and because if we give him service, I think every other time he's going to put it in the back of the net because he's a proper striker who's going to score us goals if we put it in the right positions.
Yeah, totally. And that's what I was saying the other day. It's like, as people were talking about the Liverpool game going, oh, Antonio should have started, da. But when there's that one chance of the game, who would I rather it go to? Antonio or the Italian number 9? You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
Like, I mean, he's a quality player. And I think, to be honest, I reckon the whole result tonight depends on Ballon being back.
Yeah, because I think David Moyes probably doesn't trust Kehrer in a back four as much. That might have been why we started with a back five on Wednesday, as well as obviously playing Liverpool, and Moyes loves a back five against a big team. So hopefully if we can get Dawson back. I don't want to see no back five rubbish tonight. Let's go back to the back fours. We can have Zuma and Dawson in there. I think that's a massive boost, because then that means we can perhaps put Kehrer out to the right to his favourite position as well, and then we've got a bit of pace going down that right hand side. And I think everybody's playing in their natural positions, and I think that I think now then the back four just looks better, and I think we're overall more solid. I think.
Yeah, definitely. And if 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 we're led to believe, I think Paqueta's less likely to be it's starting tonight, or even on the bench probably. So is it Benny as a 10, or do you play Downs as the extra midfielder?
I liked what Moyes did on Wednesday night, because we've all been calling for a long time to see perhaps a midfield three, because we always say midfield two, we get a little bit overrun, and I think it was refreshing to see a midfield three. I think tonight I want to see us go back to a kind of a 4-2-3-1. I think we can afford to play just the two in midfield. I prefer to see Downs there alongside Rice, and then Benny as the number 10. Hopefully then, it's maybe if that doesn't happen, I wouldn't be at all upset if we did play three in midfield with Rice, Souček and Downs, and then we can play Ben Rama out on the left hand side perhaps. But yeah, Benny's got to fit in here somewhere, and ideally Downs as well for me.
Yeah. I think it's I think it's going to be an interesting. I think it's going to be interesting because obviously, it's a big week. It's a 3-game week really in all essence, because obviously Monday, Thursday, Sunday, and I think today's critical, and then Thursday is important, and then Saturday and Sunday's back to being critical again. So it's going to be interesting to see how Moyes shuffles the pack to have, because we still need to get something out of that Silkeborg game. We don't even need to get something out. We need to. Because it
would just be nice to get that at least
out of that way.
Then say it's done. Yeah,
out of the way, and then that's one less game to not worry about, but one less game on the important list rather than the nice to have list, because that Bucharest game will be a dead rubber, very similar to when we had the Dinamo Zagreb last year, weren't it? When it was sort of the dead rubber game, and it'd be good. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised seeing a Gerd featuring that in the Stenar Bucharest game. Maybe on the bench on Thursday. I don't know. He's the way he's training. You never know with these things. You never know with Moyes. But I don't think there'll be too many surprises apart from Dawson, I think, tonight. I don't see Cornet featuring. I don't really see Paqueta featuring. But I think Ballon, he's pretty much said that he's playing, in the Moyes smoke and mirrors look about it. So, yeah. So are you staying down until Thursday?
Yeah, so we're coming up on Wednesday. Just stay at some family in Clacton, and then we're coming over on Thursday. I'm going to finally, maybe meet the DJ Rusty B.
Don't know, but I have to talk to my people. You got to get past security and stuff like that, and it's difficult. But maybe we'll see on Thursday. Maybe Thursday. I'll message your dad.
Yeah.
All right then, mate.
A weather report though. A weather report. From Bruton and Somerset. It's the heavens are just open. It's sunny and it's pelting it down.
I know. Yesterday, absolutely pelted down around my neck of the woods. Absolutely pelted down. It was crazy, and then it just went sunset. Beautiful sunset. But I don't think it's going to have any. I don't think you're going to get any rain today at London Stadium. I think you'll be okay today. I think we'll be okay, man.
So, leave your coats at home.
I'll take a coat, but I wouldn't take a wet.
Take a coat.
I wouldn't take an anorak. I wouldn't take a Macintosh. But I would take a light to medium weight jacket, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Very informative, bro.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jacob boy. Go on, you go and get ready to get down here.
Cheers, Russ.
See you later, mate.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
There he was, Jakey boy, on the line, West Ham unofficial. Check them out if you haven't already. I'm sure you have. As I said, lines are open if you want to come and chat. Let's have a look. Loads of has Mama Cox been rustling something up? Sounds like it. Through 3 keepers on the bench is early rumour. Fantastic. Mandy's in the chat. Hope you're well, Mandy. Nice to see you. Tactics seems to be a problem. Just not quite working out for us. And it's what I said about the other day, actually. For me, it's like the frustrating thing about West Ham at the moment is that we don't have... what's the way to explain it? In last sort of 2.5 years... it just seems things start going for us a little bit, but they don't seem to be going for us as much at the moment. I don't know what it is, whether it is just you make your own luck, and that's what it seems at the moment. You sort of make your own luck a little bit, but it's just not final cylinders, are we? And we haven't been, we probably haven't been since November last year, and that Liverpool game, in all honesty. But we'll see what happens tonight. we are as people were frustratingly call me. I'm forever the optimist. I am. In fact, if Moyes wins today, that's 5 home games we've won in a row, which is the first time we've done that in 10 years. So that's not a bad stat. And also apparently, and according to Matt's Statistical later on tonight, Moyes has never lost to Bournemouth when he's been in charge of West Ham across his 2 tenures. But the flip side is Bournemouth in the last sort of their big stint in the Premier League last time hadn't got as many points against any other team apart from West Ham. So statistics, damn statistics. Let's get back and plays better with Paqueta. Agreed. Have we finished on 42 points since being relegated? 41 points. I don't know. Can't see it being raining goals either. I think it might be though, Peter. Both sides, haven't played. I think they played. I mean, again, this is Matt's thing. Watch it I put it up about 4 o'clock today, so you can get used to it. Get all the stats for the pub. I think we've played them 10 times, and I think there's always goals. There's always been goals. I think we average like 3 goals a game or something like that. So yeah, Florida, talk to me. Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there next. We fly out on the 15th until the 2nd of January. So I missed the Brentford game, I think. I wonder if any of our coaches ask Moyes why he's so negative all the time. Who knows? Jake has a hot cross bun in the pipeline. That's crazy. Easter's well gone. And obviously a bit of butter. You may have just jinxed us for tonight saying 5 home wins. Ludders, it's been something that's been cleverly documented. I will not take any responsibility for that. Don't want us to start with a 5-3-2 tonight. 8 defenders of the pitch, not disrespecting the opposition. It's Bournemouth. Please get after them. I don't think that's going to happen again, Andy. It could happen next Saturday. It could happen on Sunday. Could do, but not tonight. I don't see it. I do think that Benny and Paqueta could really spark a proper naughty relationship. I totally agree. They're talking about the McCrispy. Very exciting. No, I'm simple, not toasty. Bit of butter, happy days. Interesting. Hotel, Art of Animation, on Disney property. Do we overachieve? Did we overachieve and now we're underachieving at the moment? Do you know what, Robert? I think there's a medium. There's a medium ground there. I think, yes, we have. I think we, particularly the first year under Moyes, first full season, we did. Oh, we've got a call coming in. Hello, caller. Who we got?
DJ Russie B.
Oh, God. It's like when your mum phones you up at work.
Oh, you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's all right. Like, yeah. Not much changed since about the last hour we last spoke.
Oh no. Everything's the shit's hit the fan. Excuse my French.
Oh shit! Why is it all hit the fan? What's going on?
No. I thought that's what you were meaning.
No,
I'm just buzzing about tonight, mate. I am. I'm just going to stay positive. I'm going to keep in the positive mindset. I've been listening to you in there. I understand people's nervousness about the game. I get that. But for me, it's all about having that momentum moving forward. And for me, when I think about the Liverpool game, as much as we set up initially what looked like a very defensively minded team, the intent was there. The drive was there. We just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And if we did at least put the ball in the back of the net with a penalty, at least we'd be potentially thinking differently. And like you said, mate, 3 points from 10th place, but also equally a defeat away from sitting in a relegation zone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is literally shit or bust, it seems, today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing we can do about it. We're in the situation. It's as people said, it's not necessarily the people. It's not necessarily we can't legislate for other teams picking up points, but
no.
We're in this situation now, and as I said, it'll be interesting to see if we win today. We're 10th, and does that shut people up for a little bit? Probably not, but it's. I just think if we lost, I can see it being. The shit I could see it hitting the fan. I could, because then we're in the relegation zone. We've got yes, we can look at Europe, and that's great, and we're qualified for Europe next. But it's not what people see day to day. People see day to day the Premier League table, don't they? And a lot of other managers have have gone for a lot less this week, this season already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean, look at Steven
We're
Gerrard.
going for are we not going for a record this season so far of the amount of managers that have left? But
something like that,
yeah. But for me, to be honest, my kind of final point is that Dawson to start is the first key point for me, because that changes the dynamics of the back line, which is what in theory would push us forward if Dawson starts. As we all know, Kira moves into right back, and that's something we definitely need. I do think we may see one other player feature from that list of players. I do think that Moyes has sent us. I mean, we don't know. I mean, that's the point, isn't it? It's really like that. It's all positive. It's just when, and that's the situation. It's when. I mean, we could even see a Aguero on the bench tonight. You just don't know. I'm not saying he will. It could be too early, but it's things that he's done it, and that could be a morale boost for the player to be in and around the matchday squad. And I would be surprised if he actually did feature like that, just to be in and around the matchday squad, getting familiar with what that's like, in the Premier League, etc. So Cornet has been training, he's been active on social media, showing that he's been out and about. Paqueta the same. I mean, shit, man, you get all these players back and things can change dramatically. So
it can. We know it can. It's just, and I think, sometimes we live in our own little bubble, not pardon the pun, and other clubs, you look at the state of Leeds at the moment. Look at Villa at the moment. Look at Wolves. These guys. It's the grass hasn't always been greener. I mean, the whole. With Leeds particularly, everyone loved not Benitez, but everyone loved Bielsa ball, and it wasn't working, and so they got Jesse in. He kept them up, and now they're probably going to sack him. So it's like it's always you don't know what you've got till it's gone, and I'm similar to you. I can understand other people's opinions why they want changing of a regime, but for me, I think actually. We tried that before with Pellegrini, and look at that, who's actually won something. You know what I mean? He's like, calls for Poch and stuff. Poch couldn't fucking win the league on with Paris Saint-Germain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tottenham are bottlers, proverbial bottlers as well. I know they got into, Champions League final and stuff, but still, they bottled it. And, so... Go on, mate.
And the thing is, if we hadn't have got the 7 points from the last 3-4 games that we had, I do think things would be looking different.
Definitely.
I did say that, because it would be tough then, you'd be really sitting in the relegation zone 7 points worse off. So they were vital to get at least something from the last 4 games, which we've got. And, unfortunate not to walk away with the 3 points against Liverpool, unfortunate not to walk away with 3 points against Southampton. It depends on how you look at it, or at least a point at Liverpool and 3 points at Southampton. So I'm just going to remain positive, keep the faith, and fingers crossed we can do something come tonight. But I'm going to let you carry on, mate.
All right, mate. Go on, mate. Go on.
Irons.
Toss it over now. There we go. There's Anton. But he makes a good point. And actually, I think, for me, thinking, we knew when... And again, we have to play... I mean, the great thing about the Premier League is you have to play everyone twice. And it's when you play them. And, when that Premier League table, when that fixture, we knew it was going to be shit here at the fan until maybe October onwards. And there has been a upturn, not as a big upturn as people think. But the fact is we do have to play everyone twice. And so it's just the order you play them, I think, determines really probably how you survive that season. Really, I mean, look, someone made a point about Leeds. Villa have got an instant reaction. At the end of the day, the guy who took over, the assistant manager, he's had no time to set up the team. The team was practically exactly the same from the Gerrard side, and they won. So it could be the elephant in the room with Steven Gerrard. It could just be a function of the games they played, and they were always going to pick up that result, regardless of whether Steven Gerrard's in the side, on the dugout or not. You look at Wolves. You look at. I was listening to Jim White today. He reckons Villa, they've started the process of looking for their new manager, but it's going to, they're not going to go for the first person. They're going to take the time. Well, I think the fact is, I think a few other teams, I can see Leeds doing that very soon as well. I could see Leeds maybe towards the end of this month, maybe early November, maybe making a change and not maybe having a new manager in place until after the World Cup or during the World Cup, because it gives a lot of people who aren't going to the World Cup, a new manager can come in and spend some time gelling the side, a bit like what we did when in sort of the post in the COVID era, really. And and it's almost like a separate pre-season. I mean, as Moyes has been saying before, they're trying to organise pre-seasons or mid-season friendlies during this sort of World Cup period. It's a very strange year. I think this year has almost been written off by a lot of people as no one really knows what's going to happen. But as I said, sometimes people wish, we wished for a change. Slav went, Moyes came in, Moyes made an instant. He kept us going. He kept us up. And then we thought, okay, we'll bring in a proverbial winner, bring in someone who's won the Premier League in Pellegrini. He's actually won something. We'll give him a couple of £100 million to spend. It didn't work. Didn't work at all. And then it comes full circle. Then we can get Moyes back in. Now people are saying, Moyes is I was thinking about it the other day. It really frustrated me because, I can understand people's opinions, but the flip side, they're so adamant they want Moyes out. But the flip side is, and people go, if we got turned over 3 or 4-0 at Liverpool, or we get turned over proverbially against top 6 3 or 4-0 away because we've had a go, people are going to be calling for the manager's head. And people say, no, I wouldn't. Yes, you would. Because people would have gone to Liverpool. The likes of, Dodsy's in. Dodsy travels all over the bloody world for West Ham. And, he would have gone to Liverpool and it would have been... yeah, about right. Sorry, someone messaged me. Yeah, and Dodsey would have gone in, that Liverpool game, and would come out of that second half and would probably have, Dodsy's quite realistic, and would have probably said, yeah, we played well second half, but if we'd got turned over and it was like 3 or 4-0, he's got to come all the way back down to the West Country and from Liverpool, and he'd be even more pissed off. Do you know what I mean? So it's I can understand people's frustration, but actually, as I said, if we win today, that's 5 first team games we've won in a row at home for the first time in 10 years. You know what I mean? And it's what we've got here. There's some good, interesting points. Moisey was Fergie. Who replaces him, I hope. I think Fergie did Moyes a disservice, I'll be honest. Moyes yet to recover from not getting his love child, possibly. It's the players. Gerrard couldn't do anything after they've crossed the white line. That's what I mean, Harry. You're totally right. Literally, what's the first person that goes if a team's not performing is the manager, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, we need to try some younger players. But then if we throw the kids in and they don't... look at when Big Sam threw the kids in for Nottingham Forest game in the Cup and they got turned over. Was it 5-0, 5-1, something like that? We've had people like Sebastian Leggett who was devastated. It was devastating, that game. And we all felt really bad for that game. And it took him a while to get in. He's now... I think he's at FC Dallas now, finally. He was at LA Galaxy for many years. But he's finally made a career out. But it's taken him so long. Fresh Fielder, bonjour. I hope you're well, my friend. The elephant in the room is the players there shit and don't work hard. I've been told to improve and get better. Like to be a cuddles. You can't tell me the truth. They're soft. You're totally right, mate. You're totally right. And Dodsey says I'm spot on. So there we go. There's your screenshot. Shouldn't have given some of the kids last cheat. So should have given. They've lost their confidence this season. Yep. 94's beat Liverpool. It's a great time to play them. 4 midfielders was trying to get the win. Mandy also, but that was at home. You look at our home record against the top 6. Last year we beat Liverpool and Chelsea. And we drew. Did we draw with Arsenal? Was that 3 or was it that season before? But we gave I remember Pep saying we drew 1-1 with Man City. Granted, they'd already won the league, but we'd at home we didn't have a bad record against the top 6. It's away is where the issue is, I think, and the frustration because obviously you get the travelling fan base as well. You get the guys who get their points and maybe have been to home and away and so they're going to have be a bit more vocalised about that as well. But yeah, you have the England number 2. So number 2, we go our best manager who took us into Europe 2 years ago. We're getting no one better. Totally agree, John. I totally agree. But in the same way, we try and have a balance. I do have a balance. At the end of the day, as Anton said, if we hadn't picked up the last 7 points in the last 3 games, we could be having a very different conversation today. Definitely. And so, I hope we don't have a difficult conversation in the next couple of days. I hope we win. And I hope that we're 10th and we're 14 points for the season. Not as great. I think someone said we would have been 23 points last season. Last season was fantastic. It's very similar to how Newcastle is this season. There's always one team that breaks away. I think Newcastle will eventually... I don't think they've got the squad depth to maintain that. In the same that happened with us last year. We were riding high 4th and 3rd and then we didn't have... the time we didn't have the investment at the right time to keep that squad going, and we fell out. Howard, good evening. Hope you're well. Mandy, I'm not Moyes out. He just needs to find the right balance. He does. Russ, was Dodsey saying you are a flea repellent? Does he? Oh, spot on. Oh, very good. Very good. Do we sign Poch? No, I don't think we do. I honestly, I know some people do, but for me, it's like the reasoning. We want. As I said, he couldn't get a side which included some of the best players in the world to win the French league. Lille won it. I think he won the cup instead. Well done. You won the cup. Yeah, but you're the best. You're arguably the best team by miles in the league, and you didn't win the league. Lille won it because they had a better team spirit and some good players, and that's actually what you need. Doesn't matter. It's about the team spirit. It's about getting a team. And Moisey, we know he's done it before. He can do it again. We're not getting Klopp or Poch, so who would you get? Exactly. I mean, you look around. The one we should have probably got, in all honesty, if we was going to make a change, would have been probably Graham Potter, I think. But it's not on the table. Not on the table now. So, you look around, you don't, if we then replaced him with a Benitez, people go, what? Say, what? Do you know what I mean? Or Sean Dyche, it's like, there's not that many people, I think, who would appease the Moyes out brigade, in my opinion. No, it's Samuel Aladici. That's it. That's who he wants, Samuel Aladici. Apparently, Poch turned down Villa. Don't think he'd come to us either. Exactly. He's waiting for Conte to leave Spurs. I mean, that's the thing. Spurs fans are calling for Conte to leave. It's like, what's going on? No one can win. What is it with you? Can't you see he set up a divot? That's my problem. I don't want him gone or him to change. That's what I mean, Ralph. I understand that. But for me, I think it's not defensive. I think it's pragmatic. I think that can frustrate some people. In the same way, we had this seasons up and down, blah, blah, blah. Then we had Sam come in, and it was quite boring football, but we didn't get relegated. And actually, this period of time is the longest we've spent in the top division ever in our history, I think, something like that. And then same with Kirbishley, he was the same as well. Quite sort of pragmatic approach. And you can see he's moving towards this more attacking in terms of the types of players he brought in. He's definitely brought in a lot of ball players, but it's how, and I totally agree, Ralph, you're probably right, it's about the balancing act. And actually, I don't mind him playing defensively against teams like Liverpool away, but if they do it at home, that's the issue I have. But it's horses for courses, isn't it? And people, it's the ability to not go into the game blind to the fact that actually you're playing against fucking good sides who could actually tear us a new one if we're not set up the right system. Poch is overrated. What has he done more impressive than take in the relegation zone and get them into Europe 2 seasons running? Moyes put out and Poch. Newcastle's advantage of only playing one game. You're totally right. Big test of Moyes tonight. Let's see if he sets up the same way at the beginning as always. Any bets? Because Ralph Moyes has forgotten more about football than you and me have put together. There we go. Tony Pulis would smash it for a year. Parts of the same thing. First year came in, smashed it. Second year, second season syndrome. Spurs call it. I know, indeed. How long does Moyes get for this transition to happen? That's a good point. Lawrence. When he talks about his transition, how long until that transition is over with? How long until he can say, right, this is my new side? I don't know. Is it this side of the World Cup? Is that too late then? I don't know. Do you understand that for him to be more adventurous, he needs a solid foundation behind the attackers that we haven't had through injuries? It does start from the back, and you can see the way he went through his transfers. He got the defender he wanted. He's wanted that. It was either him or Zuma 2 seasons ago, and he got Zuma. Now he's got the second one. Then he got into midfield. Then he got into the sort of attacking side of the. So you can see there's been a bit of progression in terms of what he wants to build. The next job is when do all 8 play? You know what I mean? When do all 8 play? That's the thing. Most likely this season, unless we are in the bottom 3. That's why Moyes brought again. Good question, but wonder if we could ask is how long would a new manager take a transition to? You're right, Anton. It's like it's when you make that. If you do make that twist or stick option, with the twist option rather than the stick option, there will be an adjustment period. whether it's a game, 2 games, 3 games, 5 games, come January, you might want a whole, a new manager might want a whole new side in. Then you've got almost like another pre-season. Then you're looking at February time. So, I think it's. I don't know. If we do drop to bottom 3, it would be ideal to get us out of it. Yes, you're right. I could manage City and Chelsea, and I would find managing us a lot harder job. I totally agree. We'll see if Moyes is as the size of tennis balls or sherbet pips. Sherbet pips. Bring back Bilic. He's doing a good job at Watford at the moment, isn't he? No disrespect to Slab, but the first season he had the whole thing around the fact he's got Payet. And he had that amazing season at the Bowling, and every game was the last game against Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. So it was that sort of. Didn't really do it the second season, did he? Unfortunately, but yeah. What's Steve Bruce up to? Didn't need to adjust. You think it could work? Moisey doesn't stop goal scorers from scoring or events. He doesn't stop players from missing shots, does he? In all honesty, and that's what we've done a lot of. To be fair, Moyes time, but then. The flip side, which is how long is that time? That's the question. Moyes deserves as long as we can get away with it. He gets his season as long as we stay up, then to January next year. What about the Brentford manager as a POS? He's got unfinished business. Apparently he's turned down, was it Villa? The Canio, D Nash and Colton Cole, a committee... I would not have had no. I love Paolo, but I wouldn't put him anywhere near my side. One major reason not to bin off doesn't want running things, to be honest. Indeed, maybe Steve Cooper at the end if they go down, but then they've gone down with spending a lot of money. So it's like, well, why get him because they've gone down? Moyes sends teams out not to lose every week, and most times we do. Conte and Moyes, I'm glad the Spurs have Conte. All these managers we're all naming aren't fit to wipe the sweat off David Moyes' nutsack. Will Moyes turn us into an exciting attacking team? Probably not. I don't think so. I don't think we're ever going to go from we were scoring. I think I can see. I don't think he'd take us to a flamboyant. It's never been his style, but I think we could take him to a solid first team, a solid top 10, top 8 side that could be challenging for Europe, that could be every year, that could be going to the latter stage of the Cups. That's what we want, surely, isn't it? What? But, and I think he's trying to change the style of football a little bit. He's trying to get more of these sort of attacking players in. I think... There's no doubt he's improved our forward options with Skamaka coming in. But I think, I think what Snarky said, I want to see 5 years of us finishing top 10 and getting to, then I'll say the project is done. I agree. We like Europe. The fans love Europe. They like going to these away games and stuff like that. You want to keep doing that, don't you? Surely. So why get he would be a better bet to get into Europe, I'd say, than maybe someone like say you got Bielsa and he plays beautiful football, but Leeds almost went down last season with beautiful football. And it took someone like Jesse Marsh to come in to steady the ship. That's the same principle, isn't it? And I think, we've tried to get these guys in, like people who've won, like I said, like Pellegrini, people who've won stuff. And it doesn't work. I think it's a certain type of manager to work with West Ham. And I think it would have been Graham Potter, I think, to be honest, if you wanted a different style of football. But you don't even know if that's going to work, to be honest. It took him a while to get Brighton up and running, to be fair. Billy had lots of bad players thrown at him. And totally agree. He aged 10 years in the final season. Take a manager from the 5th tier. Good football down there. We'll never win anything. We win the conference. We'll be praising Moyes. Top 8 side we can build on and keep Rice. That's the thing. The flip side is... You go and get someone else who's going to play nice football. Great. We end up going down. We're losing Declan Rice, Paqueta, Skamaka, Cornet, Bowen. We'd lose them all if we went down. They would be gone. So we're literally starting again with Connor Coventry in the midfield with Flynn Downs. The people want that? Fair enough. If you want that, fair enough. But for me, I don't want that. The fact is this is our longest stint in the Premier League for a long time. And I want us... But I totally get it's not the most exciting football at all, but it's Premier League football. And for me, I think that's important. I like that. I like playing in the Premier League. I like being on Match of the Day. I don't like being on football, European English Football League tonight with Dean Ashton. No respect to dinner, but there is. Talking to Spurs before their game, he wants Conte out as their football is crap. You see? How many goals have we scored under Moyes compared to previous managers? We're so much better than we have 90% of my lifetime. Yeah, I agree. Me too. It's a team spirit, though. Doddsy wants to see 4-4-2. I don't think it's going to happen, Dodds, but I'd love it to. Agreed, but when you have players in form on the bench that can open up games, that's when fresh on form, but then you play them. So like Benny's a classic example. Sometimes he's mesmeric, sometimes he's absolute gash. It's true. Same as a lot of other players. And I think if Benny starts today and he's gash, people go, oh, chances are he won't play on Thursday. But so it's not. Moyes can only put up the players he thinks are going to do a job. If they don't perform, that's not his problem. Really, is it? I mean, how many times we've missed shots and hit the crossbars and stuff like that? He's not gone out and said, right, okay, I don't want you to score today. I want you to miss every shot. Doesn't happen. They won't sack Moyes because the manager want a budget. Yeah, good point. One manager I want is Kieran McKenna. Yeah, I mean, that'd be a risk, wouldn't it? That would be a risk to take. But I know what you mean. He's a good player. He's a good manager. Spot on again, but we see it. Moyes doesn't. But then again, Ralph, Moyes has got some very clever football players around him, football people. Billy McKinney's a good coach. He's got feeling. He's got some good players around him. He's got Nobes as well in his ear. He's going to put the side that he thinks is going to win. He's not going to deliberately put people who aren't on form. And that's the thing that frustrates me. We're fantastic. We're all great armchair football managers. We're brilliant. We always pick the right players, pick the right squad, but we don't have to go out in front of 60,000 people and put our colours to the mast. And so, there is a pragmatic approach to Moyes, and there always will be. And I think there always will be. You're never going to get away from that. So, I think for me, it's a balancing act, and maybe sometimes he has gone a bit too defensive. But I don't know. You can tell what generation you're from by when you mean that gash to old as it means bad. To us, it means spending a lot. Yeah, we go. When we play Chelsea, we'll be a better side, hopefully. No, we're not hitting our XG just yet. I've come across many a gash. Moyes is stubborn, plays 4 hours left when Emerson is a better option as he can cross. It was Manny, but there would have been a reasoning behind that. He wouldn't have just done it willy-nilly. So there would have been a reasoning behind that. It might be, for example, that maybe he wanted to stop, Fornals almost holding that left-hand side position to stop the attack maybe from Liverpool. I don't know, but there would have been a reason to put that in. Naturally, Emerson is a left wing-back. He's not defensively great. He's great attacking. So clearly you can say that was a defensive move rather than an offensive move. And he could see that, and so he did shake up in the second half. That may have been the game plan all the time. If Bowen had scored the penalty, we'd have gone in 1-1 at half time at Liverpool, Anfield, one of the places we've won once in 49 attempts. So and that's what I mean. This season just doesn't seem to be going the way that we usually, it just seems to. Everyone's shouting out their opinions as facts. That is what's good of everyone having their own opinion. No, right, you're totally right. Has no place for the wing. No, he doesn't. But don't forget last season he played left wing back and he was quite good actually for a couple of games. Our best season lately were behind closed doors. That's it. Totally agree. But I just think that's a coincidence. I think we played well. It was a team spirit thing, Mike. And I think if you didn't have someone like Moyes in charge, you wouldn't have had that team spirit. And I know that first hand personally, seeing the team interact together. I've never seen any of our teams for a long time do that. Moyes in the middle, yep, totally agree. Don't you think it's weird that Downs said his parents wasn't there because he didn't know whether he was going to start? That's what I mean. I don't see, that's the thing, the Downs thing, I think it was a last minute, I think Paqueta was meant to start, and I think maybe he got pulled the last second. Moyes is approved every year, and he will do it again this year. Let's hope so, John. Anyway, I'm going to have to go, guys. As I said, if you're new around here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. We'll be back with Stat Attack later on. Anton will be doing the watch along. Hopefully I'll jump on at the end from the ground. We've won. We're 10th and everyone's not moaning. Well, it's still moaning anyway, but it is what it is. And hope you have a great rest of the day. Have a great lunch, breakfast, dinner, whatever time it is at where you are at the moment. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. As always, I'd like to thank all our channel members, but also I'd like to thank all our channel sponsors as well. So take care. Stay safe. Bye. Ciao, ciao for now. Come on, you eyes.
Good morning. Bye.